Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we're watching Frieren Beyond Journey's End, episode 24, called Perfect Replicas.
I want to say that this title is straightforward, but...
When are we ever right with the title?
So they're at the bottom of the dungeon, and it seems like the final test is they have to face
Frieren.
A replica. But Frieren for Denkin, but I think it's going to be different for every person. And I'm not sure if it's the person you least want to face, if it's the person you most fear. It's got to be something like that.
But we never saw Frieren and Fern get to the bottom yet, did we?
No.
Okay.
So the only person we've seen is Denkin's group facing Frieren. So we don't know.
But there were some that fought other ones, but they weren't quite at the bottom, right? I think it was Denkin's group was fighting other replicas, weren't they? But they weren't quite at the bottom?
They fought golems. That was the first replica.
Gargoyles.
Yes, you're right.
I didn't know if
they're
it meant
different.
Golem like Lord of the Rings.
No.
I just thought it was pretty badass that Denkin, that Frieren just descended from the thing.
I thought that was a pretty cool way to end an episode, not gonna lie. Are we even gonna get to the bottom of two? Who's gonna flame out? Who are they facing? What's the mechanism for that? Very curious.
Well, the one girl had to send up the signal or take the...
Yeah. That was the golem. That was the golem. The golems are taking them out.
Because she was about to get skewered.
Yes.
But this is a very interesting test. And Frieren knows all the tricks, but she cannot help herself when it comes to the human-eating trunks. Or the
mimics.
Yes.
There might just be a tome at the bottom of it.
Grimoire.
Yes.
But I'm excited to see where this goes. This, I'm just gonna keep saying it until you guys hate it. You probably hate it already, but like, I was hoping for this test, and look, it has delivered tenfold beyond my expectations.
I was gonna say when I found out that Himmel explored every nook and cranny of every dungeon, kindred heart. Play Skyrim or Oblivion, loved it.
There we go. We're both getting something out of this arc. Different, not what we expect. Anyway, you know what I mean. Here we go. Frieren Beyond Journey's End, episode 24 is coming right now.
私たちはあのダンジョンの主を水鏡の悪魔シュピーゲルと呼んでいる。賢者エービヒの英雄譚に出てくる神話の時代の魔物だ。シュピーゲルはダンジョンに入り込んだ人物の記憶を対象者の複製体を作り出していると考えられている。現代でもアインザームのような類似性を持つ魔物はいるが、シュピーゲルが作り出すのは実体を持った実力も魔力も技術さえも模倣した完璧な複製。霊落の応募が未踏破であるゆえんだ。なぜゼンゼさんはこのダンジョンを試験会場に？
So nobody would pass.
自分と互角の相手だ。犠牲を出さずに倒すには冷静な自己分析とチームワークが必要になる。実に平和主義者の彼女らしい試験内容だ。まずいな。一旦引くぞ。
Would Frieren attack so quickly though? The real Frieren?
The monster is controlling her. I wonder who's gonna manifest for Frieren.
追い詰められちゃったね。メガネくん、分身魔法の専門家としての意見が聞きたいんだけど、いいかな？
僕の名前はラントだって言っているだろう。まあ別にいいけどさ。
あの複製体はどの程度まで完璧な私のコピーだと思う？
ユーベル、君ってさ、戦いの最中でも饒舌なタイプでしょ。黙ったら死んじゃうような。
よく観察してるね。そうだね、死んじゃうかも。物静かだ。記憶や人格まではコピーしていないってことかな。
いや、多分喋れないだけだ。最初の襲撃の時、あれは僕の懐から脱出用ゴーレムの瓶を抜き取った。
なるほどね。確かに私ならそうする。
こちらに対する知識もある。僕たちを追い詰めたのに追撃してこないのは、君のソルガニールを警戒しているからだ。
それか、いたぶるのを楽しんでいるからね。
Which I would also
It's
enjoy.
also like you.
笑えないね。
ひどい出血だ。メガネくんさ。
I thought it was supposed to be like no casualties or minimal.
He can get out if he wants.
最後に一ついいかな。今のメガネくんって本物？
さあね。どうだ。
ふーん。私の瓶使えないの？
それは君が生き残るためのものだ。
へえ。そう。じゃあメガネくん、ちょっと待っていてね。瓶を取り返してくる。
おい、
まあ、距離を詰めてくるよね。ソルガニールの発動条件は視界に全身を収めること。この勝負は先に距離を見誤った方が負ける。実力が互角なら勝ち負けはほぼ
How self-aware do you think she is? She's cocky and she's got swagger, but she is very curious and she does seem to know herself. I actually think she's relatively self-aware.
No, I think she'll beat this thing.
Man, it'd be a trip fighting yourself.
I was just quickly trying to think of how I would do, and I just kind of short-circuited. So.
Why do you think she's trying to get the other golem? Do you think she knows she needs him to finish? So
Yes.
selfishly motivated.
Because I think even though she's kind of, I don't trust her, I think she actually wants both of them to survive.
Because she wants them both to survive or because she wants to understand his ability?
Maybe both.
My other question was, if she has the Sorengale spell, why wouldn't her replica have it as well? Somebody answer that for me. Or is it the first one to gather all the information to be able to use it?
Good question.
I'm curious how this plays out.
私は昔から運が悪いから、運で決まる勝負は嫌いだ。だから私は私と戦いたいとは思わない。まったく、この死にたぐりはしょうがないね。やっぱり運が悪い。だから嫌なんだ。
She does have a Sorengale spell.
そっちの方がもっと運が悪かったみたいだ。メガネくん、意外と早かったね。ふん、やっぱり瓶も偽物だったんだ。
So where's his bottle? Was he playing her?
That's the duplicate.
But she took his bottle.
ゆうべ
So he was a fake?
瀕死の分身だと分かっていたんだな。なぜ死に急ぐような真似をした？
メガネ君が来てくれると確信したからかな。
僕がそんなお人よしに見えたのか？
いや、全然。というか、そんなことどうでもいい。メガネ君はさ、私の瓶を受け取ろうとしなかった。自分のせいで誰かが死ぬのが嫌なんでしょ？だから私はメガネ君のせいで私が死んでしまう状況を
Pretty
作っ
smart. Pretty intuitive.
た。ありがとうね、メガネ君。また一つ君のことが分かった気がするよ。
そうか、それは良かったな。そろそろ共感できそうか？
まだ時間はかかるかな。
So they are now done.
だいぶ最深部に近づいてると思うんだけどね。
Do you think it's gonna be Fern?
フリーレン様、あそこに階段があります。フェルン、ちょっとマップ見せて。
I thought it was. Didn't I throw out Flam last episode?
このフロアは探索し尽くしたと思いますが。
She's gonna find a secret passage.
And a grimoire.
この壁の奥に隠し部屋がある。きっとお宝
I
だよ。
love finding secret rooms.
この雰囲気、ひょっとすると珍しい魔導書が眠っている可能性も。でも入り口らしきものはどこにもありませんでしたし。
It's a riddle.
確かにね。でも構造的に部屋は間違いなくあるはずだから。
Oh.
Oops.
Oh dear. This is like the chess match in Harry Potter.
Oh, I thought they were coming to life.
So did I. I feel like even Sensei's like, what?
She's so happy with herself.
I'm not trusting that root. I don't trust anything.
I know you didn't play a lot of video games, but finding the secret rooms is so satisfying.
I can't even remember the video games that I played. But finding the secret stuff is very exciting. We know she's looking for that grimoire.
Only thing she cares about.
フリーレン様、すごいですね。
埋葬された王の功績が描かれているな。これほど保存状態のいい統一王朝期の壁画は初めて見た。価値ある発見だ。
Not the kind of treasure Fern's looking for.
ですね。
But she likes making Fern happy.
本当に順調すぎるぐらい順調ですね。もしかしてこのまま合格してしまうのでは。かもしれないね。どうしたの？こんなところに集まって。
Running away from you.
構造的にこの先の広間を越えれば迷宮の最深部だ。
それで？
あれが陣取ってもう半日になる。
面白い。
I love her smile.
ダンジョン攻略はこうでなくちゃ。
What a great last battle. Well chosen.
生体か。確かにあれは私と同等の力を持っているみたいだね。
あの複製体を何とかしない限り最深部へたどり着けん。何か手立てはあるか？
そうだね。あれがもしも 私を完全に再現したものだとしたら、弱点は生身の魔法使いと同じかな。
She's like, I'm not gonna articulate them, but
倒すとしたら高速魔法か精神操作魔法だ。
Wrong.
どちらにも耐性があるからね。
だがわずかな隙は生まれるかもしれ
Wrong.
ん。お前ならそれさえあればあれを倒せるはずだ。名刀で
they for sure need to work together.
小細工は得意だろう。
得意というほどではありませんが。では失礼して。これは興味深い。高速魔法が通用しませんね。いい匂い。普通の大きな魔力差がなければ通用するはずなのですが。フリーレンさん、次は私の目を見てく
There
だ
is
さ
a
い。
large difference in mana.
精神操作魔法も無理ですね。私ではフリーレンさんの精神防御が破れません。あらあら。
本当に両方とも耐性があるようだな。
I wouldn't lie to you.
でも精神防御の構築は複雑で強固ですが、だいぶ古い術式のようです。精神魔法の専門家なら脆弱性をつけるかもしれません。
受験者の中で心当たりは？
エーデル2級魔法使いなら可能かと。ですが私と違って戦闘能力は皆無な人なので、正直ここまで来られるかどうか。それに大前提として精神操作魔法は相手に心
This is making me feel like Dungeons and Dragons so much. Just like, yes, she possesses hypnosis abilities, but unlike me, she doesn't have combat abilities, so she probably won't make it this far. It is really making me think of Dungeons and Dragons.
I love that you know that.
This is great.
Sarah recently played her first campaign less than, what, a year ago?
I'm not very good. I'm a beginner.
It's fun though.
I like rolling the dice. Adam tells me that you often want to avoid rolling the dice because you don't want to have to chance those things, but I love to roll the dice. That's probably why I don't do so well. I love that she just hugged her back because she smelled good.
Frieren has lost 6 times to human mages though, in combat. I understand why she wouldn't want to freely give that information out as to how she was beaten, but she has to know how to defeat herself. How do you think they're going to solve this? Do you think Frieren's going to say something? I think Fern might actually have some insight. I think it's
Fern
going to
looks
be
very protective of Frieren right now. Did you see how she pulled her away and
Yes.
was like hugging her?
Yeah, and I love that they're like, oh, it's an old spell. Somebody might be able to. You know what? The old ones are goodies. I bet you it's
Frieren's
not.
1,000+ years old, and she is the one you have to defeat. She's clearly strong despite the old stuff.
But what I'm curious about is the other 2 faced a different replica. These ones are now facing.
I swear there were other replicas last. Like, I feel like Frieren's replica is the ultimate test, and I think that I think they had to defeat other replicas earlier. Because I'm pretty sure Denkin's group had to defeat a replica, or somebody did.
I must have blacked out then. Okay,
I'm probably wrong.
fair enough. Let's see.
それに大前提として精神操作魔法は相手に心がないと通用しません。果たして複製体がそこまで再現できているかどうか。
まだまだ情報が足りんな。
エーデル、あれは何だと思う？
Oof.
さあの
Looks like a clump of hair.
一級魔法使いゼンゼと同等の力を持っていると考えて間違いあるまい。
So there's a sensei.
決して潜伏するにも限界がある。もう倒すしかない。
倒せると思うのかブライ。わしはともかくブライとドゥンスとはこのダンジョンの中ではまともに戦えん。
そもそも現代魔法がダンジョン戦闘に適していません。
Well, looks like you had a little oversight there.
By Himmel.
それに強力な防御魔法にリソースを取られすぎ、攻撃魔法は自然物を利用したものが多くなった。無から物質を作り出すよりも その場にある物質を操ったり変化させたりする方が魔力の消費が少ないからの。だがその点あれは相当うまくやっている。あの紙には幾重もの魔法がかけられておる。このダンジョン内でも無数の手段で戦えると考えていいじゃろう。
It's like
わし
Thing.
の見立てではあれには勝てん。
Oh no, sorry, Cousin It.
これはイメージの世界。髪の毛という数えるのも不可能なほどの膨大な数の糸を自在に変質させて操るという普通の人間とはかけ離れたイメージを持つ。
I love that magic is tied to
は
imagination.
るかに格上の魔法使いじゃ。正直ここまで逃げおせたのは奇跡だと思うぞ。わしらは頑張った。そもそもわしらは武闘派ではない。ここいらが潮時じゃろう。正直怖いからもう帰りたい。
エーデル、お前の声は通らないのか？
確かに精神操作魔法はわしの一族のなりわいじゃが、あれ相手に高度な命令の条件を満たすのは無理じゃな。できるとすればせいぜいひざまずかせて隙を作る程度じゃ。それでも目を合わせて声をかけねばならん。
不可能ではないんだな。
相手に心があればの話じゃが。
どのくらい時間を稼げば？
15秒じゃ。というかそれが限界であろう。
どういうことだ？
今にわかる。防御魔法を全面展開しろ。現代魔法戦において防御魔法を破る方法は2種類じゃ。質量で叩き壊すか、技術でかいくぐるか。手数で攻める輩は大抵後者じゃ。驚いた。まさかその両方があるとは。巨岩のような重さじゃ。防御魔法の全面展開は15秒が限界だと考えていたが、まさかそれよりも早く破られるとはな。だが目はあったの。優秀な魔法使いほど敵をよく見る。ひざまずけ。
Did the guys not even notice? The guys are still standing there. That hair is so powerful.
Do you not find it interesting that she's now kneeling?
Of course Adam would notice that. Kneel. Okay, I'll make you kneel. It's like it happened so fast the guys didn't even have time to blink.
No, they didn't see it coming. And it knew they were there. See, this is why everybody should have stuck together.
I think it's crazy that the hair turned into like 27 drills.
Oh, so good. You think she's dead?
Yes, I do.
Yikes.
And she wanted to leave.
I didn't think anyone's gonna die here.
And so the monsters in the dungeon are deciding who they replicate. Sensei didn't know that she would be one of them, I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I believe it's one monster replicating abilities of
But in different
people.
locations throughout the dungeon.
Yeah, that's what I was a little confused about because I thought it was only happening at the bottom.
Well, if that's the case, then Yubel got the easiest one. Seems like.
But it was based off the person she decided, like the monster decided to target. So Yubel must have been either most afraid or something of herself. But think about it, it makes sense with her character. She's overconfident, cocky, she thinks she's better than, she's probably like, I'd rather not face anyone other than me because I'm the best.
Okay.
よくわかった。心がない。心の働きを精密に模倣しているだけじゃ。わしらでは絶対に勝てぬな。虎の意を借りるしかないの。武闘派連中のところまで全力で逃げろ。わしは潮時と言った通りもう帰る。痛いのはもう嫌じゃ。
Like, the hair went through her chest. Is she okay?
便利じゃの。安全確保までしてくれるのか。
Must have been just above the heart.
俺たちも逃げるぞ。
Yeah, you should.
今度の最深部まで無事にたどり着く人なんているんでしょうか。
Stick with Frieren and everyone will be safe. She's probably beaten these things before.
現状情報が少ないからね。心がないパターンも考えた方がいい。その場合は力技になるだろうけどね。
できるのか。
さあ、わかんない。
Hi, Ken.
How long do they have again?
3
Till
days.
tomorrow? Oh. They're not thinking anything, are they? They're just...
They attack similar to the people they've replicated.
ただ思った通り相性は悪くなさそうだ。エーレは単純な魔力勝負の殴り合いながら俺やシャルクを圧倒できる。
They've got all of them.
だが俺は勝ち方を知っている。どんな相手、どんな状況だろうとな。
力技か。
それでしたら、もしかしたら私、フリーレン様を殺せるかもしれません。そう。はい。じゃあ、作戦を立てようか。
I love that.
You thought that they were gonna have to, that Frieren and Fern would have to fight Fern, but Fern has this idea of how to defeat Frieren.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was everybody faces one or.
I think they just have to get to the bottom, so I'm assuming if they're together.
See,
Like, depending on the path of the labyrinth they choose, there's probably one of those monsters. So they all have to end up in the same thing, and then maybe they all face the one, and then they can get through.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I originally thought that entering the bottom chamber, this monster would create a replica for the group trying to get through. So I had assumed that Frieren and Fern would get there on their own, and that theirs would be Fern.
Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many ways there are to get into the bottom than whoever else, but this is interesting. And I knew that Fern would have an answer.
I'm curious what her answer is.
If you think about it, she's faster than Frieren, right? That's the one thing that she is.
She casts the spell, the simple spells, very quickly.
Yes. So I think that she has watched and might have an ability to do that given enough distraction maybe or something along those lines. But again,
But Frieren's quantity of mana is unmatched.
right, you don't want to get into a slugfest with her because she'll just grind you down.
I'm sure Frieren has the answer or an idea of how she would defeat herself, but she's not about to say anything.
No, and why would you? I wouldn't want that information.
I think
out
at the
there.
end of the day, Frieren just wants Fern at least to get the
I
title.
agree.
She doesn't need it.
She just wants to be able to go north.
Exactly.
That's all that matters. Like, it was an interesting episode. We saw a little bit more about some of the other characters, which I thought was cool.
I want to know what that cool guy thinks that he knows that nobody else does. Because he was just like, no matter the opponent, I can beat them. Or I know how to beat them.
Well, you remember he has the most combat experience, so he just believes that he can beat whoever.
There's a lot of real cocky people in this.
Well,
group.
they're testing to get to the most elite status of mages. Everybody there has an ego, except for probably...
Fern.
No, Frieren has an ego.
I would say except Fern.
True, I'd agree with
Fern
that.
is saucy, spicy, but I think she has a healthy respect for everybody else.
Agreed. I don't think she, quote unquote, wanted it as much as everybody else, so she's just And I think she's innately more talented than a whole bunch of the other ones.
Fern?
Yeah. The greats are always humble.
Well, she's the youngest by far. They're gonna beat her, right? They
Yes.
have to, or else the show would be over.
No going north. Somebody will beat her.
This is great. We're approaching the end here, everybody. We've only got a few episodes to go in season 1. So,
And season 2's coming though, which I'm
season 2
super
is
excited
coming,
about.
so we are good to go. But let us know your thoughts. We threw around a lot of things. Some might be right, some might be wrong. So just set us on the right track here. Set us on the right path to make sure that we fully understand. And as always, we'd be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more Frieren Beyond Journey's End coming next week. Bye.